Today we unbox Conflict of Heroes Awakening the Bear 2nd edition. I usually do not film unboxing videos, but this is a review and preview copy. The game is not widely available yet, so I thought that people might be curious to see what's inside the box, and so just for that, to help the gaming community, I'm going to film this video to provide you with the information. I have this copy here because it was sent to me by the designer, who also wrote a very nice message here, and there's an autograph here, so I want to thank the designer for that. Well, let's have a look at the Conflict of Heroes 2nd edition. First, we can look at the box, which looks really neat. I definitely like the graphics on the box. Another thing that is not a detail to me, I like the proportions of the box much better. If you remember, the first edition had a box that was thinner but much longer. It was an unusual proportion. Not many games are that size, not many game boxes are that size. That made it hard to stack it together with other games. There are many more games that more or less have similar dimension here, which makes it easy to store this box here with the rest of my collection. It seems like a small thing, but it is not when you have a collection and you like to stack your games one on top of the other. Also pretty heavy box, trust me about that. Let's open it. Oh, lo and behold, firefight book, pretty nice looking. I do not know that I'll be able to compare the new graphics with the old ones, because I must confess that it has been a while since I've seen a copy of the first edition. If you saw my video for Storms of Steel, you know that I was not too fond of the first edition of Conflict of Heroes. I became a believer when I saw the 2nd edition of the rules. And so now I'm glad to go back and play Awakening the Bear and this new updated edition on the 2nd, also with the 2nd edition of the rules. So this is the updated rulebook. I think there also are a couple of other changes that have been made to the rules, but I will have to read the rulebook carefully just to see what the differences are, which I will do in the next days. For now, you can just have a quick glance at the rulebook. We have player aids, 2 of them. Seems obvious, but I always appreciate when there are enough player aids for each player in a game. It seems obvious, but there are just so many games in which that doesn't happen. A player track sheet, 4 of them, and well, I do remember the old ones, and I do think that the color palette here is much more pleasant than the previous one. And then, oh, the counters. Okay, let's have a close look at them. As far as I can remember, yes, these ones seem to look better. Again, I'm working from memory here. I don't seem to remember so many flames in the old counters. Here's the back. Well, I'll let the images speak for themselves, especially since each image is worth 1,000 words. If these are all individual images, this is a very verbose video. Oops, this one just fell off the thingy. More units and some terrain elements. Now, I do remember the old terrain elements, and I do remember that they did not look nearly as good as these ones do. That I remember. I just hope I remember correctly, which is a completely different issue. More counters and more terrain. And then counters, oops, for damage. Counters to keep track of stuff. Smoke. Well, look at these guys here. Look at these images here. Look like a little bit like from a Charlie's Angels episode, but with soldiers instead of Charlie's Angels. Right, maps. These are important. Wow, okay, this map looks good. I don't remember too well how the old maps looked, but I seem to remember the changes in elevation were not handled in such a pretty way. There is a nice level of detail here. I'll give you a close-up so you get a good sense of the trees. These maps are mounted. So second map here. I won't spend too much time on each map, just feel free to stop the video and take a good look at each of these beauties here, because these are beautiful. I mean, look at this one. Again, let's have a close-up just to show you the level of detail. Pretty nice. I just feel like somebody's going to walk out of one of these buildings any second now. That's how detailed they look. I lost count of how many maps I showed you already. Definitely a lot of maps, and that will result in a lot of different terrain that you can play with, and combining larger maps. More generic map with trees and stuff. Okay, here we get to the bottom of the box with the area to store the counters, 2 dice, that's nice, and the cards. These cards have been redesigned. They still feel very historical, very thematic. Oh, nice color touches here and there. I don't seem to remember this sepia set of tones in the old images. I seem to remember them more traditional black and white. Okay, pretty nice looking. I don't know if it's just the way I shuffle things, but it seems like there are a lot of these ones. I mean, the same image, but it doesn't seem... I still see very good variety of images anyways. Alright, this is all you have in the box of Conflict of Heroes, Awakening in the Bear, 2nd edition. Here I also have 2 expansions that I'm going to show you. One is called Wrecks and Destruction. As you can see, it comes in shrink. There is a sheet here that clearly tells you how to use this expansion, and then there is a sheet of counters that clearly represent, well, what's left in the battlefield after destruction occurs. And then another expansion is called Monster Tanks of the Eastern Front, again in shrink, with a sheet of explanations and a sheet of counters, which I assume represent monster tanks. Otherwise, the title of the expansion is really, really misleading. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a better sense of what's in this box. I know it's not much for now to make you decide whether or not you want to order or pre-order the game, but it is just a little introduction to the components at least. And in the next couple of days I will definitely get to play this game because I'm really excited about it, and after I play the game enough I will film a reader review for it, so you will hear from me about gameplay, not just components.